How you doing, geezer? Uh, had a got up late this morning. Oh man, we had a snow squall yesterday. I couldn't believe it. It looked like a tornado. Uh, we looked out the window and there was all of this stuff blowing around. And I've never been in a tornado, but I've seen pictures of it. And you see all of this debris flying around, and it was snow mixed with blossoms, mixed with pollen mixed with everything in the air, and it's just the weirdest thing. But it was a snow squall. So anyway, that was my hi, John and Jeff, and oh boy, what's up? Hey, Stefan, how are you? Did you make a snowman? Yeah. No, I tell you, I rarely see snowmen in the winter. We can have snow all over the place. Sometimes people make them, our kids or something, but most of us don't want to go out in wet, cold snow. Hi, Dominic. How are you? And Abdul. Uh, so, hmm. Well, I don't know if you got a chance to see James' collection review this morning yet or not, but that was one of those collections that I really enjoyed going over. Uh, it looked like a fun collection. The pole routers and that Chayume, I tell you, there were a lot of fun watches in James' collection. Hey, Pedro, how you doing, man? Your hat is encouraging. Heat is on the way. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I thought, well, maybe it's a beautiful day today. Boy, talk about a great day for Mother's Day. We haven't been able to go for a walk for, gosh, I don't know how long, how many days. So, boy, today we're going to be out and about and walking. We'll probably try to go early before a crowd comes out on our block. But they all go down to the new walking path, and so we go down the street. There are no cars. Hi, Kez. Krasimir, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, yeah. I thought so. I thought more fun than funny though. Yeah, I know. That was it was it's a kind of collection. It looks like a real person did it, as opposed to you know someone paying attention to everybody else. Someone who wasn't trying to pay any attention to anybody else. Hi, Clyde. How you doing? Wish good Mother's Day for you and your wife. Yeah, same here, John. I hope everybody, all of you now have moms and wives and so forth who are mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Lee. Hi, Hans. How are you? In kitchen listening while making a chicken and peas risotto. You're making that for your wife, I take it, Hans. What a nice guy. Um, Hi, Blake. Hello, at all. Hi, David. Uh, Watch Habit. What's up? Feel like I'm meeting you on a 7 Mile Beach, Grand Cayman. Oh yeah, this is my spring hat. Um, we have one of those really beautiful spring days. People like to talk about, oh, New Englanders have such nice falls with all the color leaves. I like spring better. We really are beautiful falls, but boy, I tell you, I swear this spring we've had more blossoms. Just everything has been really just blossoms everywhere, and I think one of the reasons is that there's so little pollution ever since everybody's been locked up that the blossoms, the bees, and the other things. So I'm looking forward to a big fruit crop. That's what I'm hoping for. Hope get a lot of apples and pears and what else we have, plums and cherries and peaches. Um, Between me and the critters, it's sort of hard. But I thought, well, I'll put on my spring hat. We after that snow squall yesterday, I figured I better do something. What's on my wrist? Oh, this is my one of my favorite watches, H. Moser et Compagnie, um, Henry Dibble Hairspring. Love this watch, super accurate, and it's hard to show because it's got the stuff they put. What's that called? I forgot. Anyway, all right. So hey, Chris, let's see. Yeah, she's usually on Mother's Day we go out to dinner or go to the movies or do something fun. Not today. We're going for a walk. So today will be there's no movies that are on. The restaurants aren't open. Hey, pseudoscience. I need to send you a cowboy hat. Uh, the watch cowboy. Yeah. Kai yippee yippee yay. Hey, Abdul, we have an issue here with fruits and vegetables because a lot of them went bad because no one was here to pick them. Oh, well, that's sad. Oh, that's really too bad. Hey, Fahrenheit, leaving the stream to watch James' collection. Oh, good. Well, enjoy it, Fahrenheit. Hope you like it. We just fly in room. Hey, Stefan. Oh, okay. All right. So what's new with anything? I thought it might be fun to have a contest. I want to have a contest, and we'll have a for a design for a. We'll have a with a jumping hour and then the minute retrograde. Why don't we have a contest and they'll send a watch to the winner or something? How does that sound? But I don't know. Send them to put them on High Horology Lounge. I'll announce it there, and just send in your idea for High Horology Lounge. People see it and they go, "Oh, that's really neat. Well, this is what I'd change, or this is what I would do." So I thought, I'm not a designer. Maybe some of you guys are, and we'll go into designing our, I don't know, whatever we want to call it. I like the Cashmere Hour. I think that's a cool name for it, but you guys can call it whatever you want. Okay. Okay, so and the winner I will email a watch to. How's that sound? In the past, we've had we still have. I owe Mark J a watch because he won. We had a little contest and Mark won, and so trouble is that I could go down to the post office, but it's like geez, mask and all of that stuff. And they got some people down there who don't have a brain in their head. Not the people who work at the post office, but the people who go in there. I saw this one thing. This guy didn't wear a mask. They was required, and so the guy grabbed this woman's arm and rubbed his nose on her arm. This is the guy without the mask. If anybody did that to me, the nose that he rubbed would not any longer be fixed. I'd whack him in the nose with a 2x4. God, I saw that out there. It was one of the crazy things, people going nuts, doing all kinds of stuff. Okay. All right, Dominic. Just look under your seat. You got me there. Opera. Okay. Hey, John. Knock his socks off. Yeah. I was like, what is wrong with people? I mean, some people don't understand a lot of stuff, and then they start. Oh God. I don't want to get started, so I'm going to behave myself today. And we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about anything but watches. Did anybody get their designated mother a watch for Mother's Day? And by designated mother, your wife or your sister or your mom or somebody like that. Yeah, Jeffrey, I agree with you. We got to avoid all political stuff, though. uh, yeah, I just, you know, I just can't imagine people doing that kind of stuff. But they do. Hey, Blake, have you heard anything on the movement front? Well, I told you yesterday. I don't know if I told this group or not. I told the other group, but I did hear from Edward Milan, and he from H. Moser, and he said, yeah, they do that sometimes. They'll have a bunch of old movements, but apparently, he said they've got to get them into the funny thing he said, but it's so typical though of H. Moser. He said, "Yeah, we do it, but we have to get them into perfect shape." In other words, they wouldn't even for a bunch of yahoos like we are, they say we're not going to send out a bunch of crummy movements. We'd have to get them all in perfect shape before we send them to, even though we're not going to use them anymore, even though that they're obsolete for the line of watches we have. That's what they were going to do. And I thought, man, what a cool thing. What a very cool thing. Um, anyway, there's, to me, with motors, there's nothing not to like. I like the design, the craftsmanship, everything about them I like. When I was Mike Margolis, some of you may know Mike. He's the U.S. representative for H. Moser, and he lives a few blocks away from me. Well, a few miles away, really. And when I first met Mike, I think I just got this watch. And he said, one thing he liked about Moser uh, is that everything was beyond what was expected. And I thought, that's really a nice way to do it. I think this one is for 3 days, but it run 4 or 5. And so when I asked in that interview we had, some of you may have seen it, when I asked Edward Milan about it, he said, look, you got a 7-day watch. Near the end of that 7 days, you're going to have things slow down a little or speed up or something. I don't know what happens near the end of the 7 days. So he said, what we wanted to do was to have it go beyond that. So you have the same charge during the 7 days. Now, afterwards, it's sort of like, yeah, then you're on your own. So if you have a 7-day from H. Moser, my brown one is, or a 3-day, if you want it to be really accurate after the 7-day, that's when you want to rewind it. But I thought it was sort of an interesting viewpoint. Hi, Tim. How you doing? So that's one reason I've always liked H. Moser is that they give you more than they have to, and so it was the same attitude with hey, we could sell you guys some movements that we're not going to be using anymore, and so I forget what the term he used, like a bulk or something like that, but he said we'd have to fix them up first. And I thought, wow, that's really nice. You wouldn't let anything out that would be an embarrassment to you. And I think that's sort of cool. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, so that's the information. That's the update on that movement. We're still, waiting. I did hear back from Nicholas Vidarek at Agonor, and he said, give him a few more days since what we're going to do. And that's fine with me. I hope they come up with something that we can afford. That'd be great. Hi, Ian. How you doing? That's okay. Ian, that's okay. I know you were doing something nice for your wife or mother on Mother's Day, so that's anybody who's late. That's what was going on. Open case back on the watch to see the movement. Definitely, Blake. Absolutely. I mean, why would anyone want to have like a Moser, or no, we're not going to get a Moser, or the UWD 31.2 or 33.2 or an Agenor and not see the movement? Man, I tell you, that to me would be not even something you should think twice about. Put it that this is like this watch here. This one has a very plain and dial, so to speak. It's really a nice dial, but it's not like, oh boy, I got to spend my time looking at the dial because it's an open dial and you can see everything. But imagine rats, sort of hard to see. Imagine not being able to see that movement with the trigonal bridge, and you can see that diamond from space. That thing is a pretty good sized diamond. So why would you want to not have that? This is what I understand about. Well, I do and I don't. A lot of divers, in fact, all of them from Rolex now don't have. They have closed backs, and their reasoning is that, well, we have the oyster case and we don't want it to leak, and if we put a case, a see-through case back in there, it would. Well, that makes sense. The thing is, though, is that most people are desk divers. It's about the only danger they have of getting wet if somebody's washing their hands, getting their watch wet. But there were some guys I know who have they wanted to see the insides of their Rolex so much they had them made. They had case backs made with a hunk of sapphire in the middle so they could look at them. With a big rotor though, I don't know. That may not make any more sense than having a solid back. Hey Lee, how's it going? If you have closed case back at the moment, I think they didn't do any decorations. Some say we try to stay authentic. I say yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what they're doing it for. I know that if I went to a diver shop, first of all, they wouldn't have any mechanical watches. They'd hand me some kind of sealed up smartwatch, probably these days. But to me, it's every now and then, you just take off your watch and you look at it. What would be cool? This blew my mind. When I met F.P. Journe at that talk in New York a couple months ago, he carries in his pocket. He just like carries a loop with him all the time. This is something like have loop will travel, and I'll just pop this in my pocket. And if something comes along and want to take a look at it, pull out my loop and have a take a look at it. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Breitling, new releases all have colored closed case backs. They should. That's my opinion. They have nothing here to see, folks. Just move along. Oh, let's see. I was walking around with a loop in Baselworld, and every time I go watch something, yeah, I think it's a good thing to have. A watch collector should always have a loop. You never know when you're going to need it. Do you think the thick divers are going to remain popular? Probably. Is that we're not dealing with rational people. Let's face it, we're not very. In terms of rationality, when quartz came, oh God, what is it, 50, 60 years ago, however long ago it was. Um, that was it for mechanical watches. I mean, most of them, went broke. Let's face it. And so here you have this device that was once used as an essential in timekeeping, and now you don't need it anymore. And so they sort of went to, so it became a status symbol, or it became uh, I don't know, like an appendix, sort of something you really didn't need, but you sort of like to have on your wrist so you can, I don't know, accuracy was not important, not so much because accuracy is not important, but rather there was something 10 times more accurate and 10 times cheaper. So, what are you going to do? And that's, that's the nature of the world. And what they did was that they came up with these things. And so the thing that I like about mechanical watches is the mechanics of them. And so when they start screwing around with, we have a watch now that'll tap into your computer, and that's that's fine. But it's sort of lost its point. It's sort of like somebody whose hobby is horseback riding. Um, They like riding horses, and no matter what they're doing, just about, there's something better than a horse. Excuse me, get around. Um, I carry a loop. Yeah, there you go, Blake. I have to too, but for a long time, I haven't been going anywhere. But I tell you, next time I go to New York, I'm going to have a loop with me. When I was in the Breguet shop on Fifth Avenue, of course, they handed me a loop to, "Hey, you like to look at your watch with a loop." I don't know. It reminds me of a theme out of some snooty scene out of The Simpsons. Would you like a loop? I don't know. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. I heard Steven Seagal wears Seagull watches. He probably does. He probably eats them. Scott. Oh man. Hey Kaz, how you doing? Happy Mother's Day. Uh Mechanical watch is like a heart. Yeah, that's a very good analogy, Dominic. I like that. You can hear it beating and until it runs out of spring juice. The other thing about it too, when you stop and think about what you can you have the perfect ecological. I mean, there's no battery to throw away or anything like that. Um, and an automatic watch just gives you more exercise or winding. This is the kind of exercise we get. Winding watches are making sure that they're going. Um, is that in a way, it's sort of a delightful self delusion, and who doesn't like self delusion? What's going on? High beats or hypertension. Yeah, who needs a high beat? I got my smartwatch, or not a smartwatch. My Fitbit will keep better time. Here it is. Give it a tap, and there it is. It says, "Hi, this, and here's a grocery list we can give you too." It's like the interesting thing about good accuracy with the mechanical watch is just like, yeah, let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can make it more accurate. We know it's not going to be as smart as your iPhone that you use to set your time with, but still, it's sort of a cool thing. No wife for you, pseudoscience. God, it's rough. I hope you can wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. If you don't have a mom, well, it's you can borrow mine, or somebody's. I fell asleep with my watch on last night and enjoyed it. That's great. Yeah. Oh, it's sort of like taking a big teddy bear to bed with you. Oh, there's my watch. That's great. Oh, my brother's a diver, and he looks at me funny when I ask him why he doesn't have a so-called dive watch. He should look at you funny. I think, or we if we had a bunch of divers and some guy shows up with his sub and say, "Look at my sub," and say, "What do you use it for?" He's not going to say he's a diver. He's going to say, "Oh, I just like my watch." It's something like that. I mean, it's like a pilot's watch. I very few pilots. In fact, the pilots I know, I don't try to think. They had some interesting watches. I don't remember any of them being pilot watches. The ones I like are those Zenith extra special Type 20s with a giant crown on them, like the one that was in James' collection. That great big. Oh, I love that watch. But you know that thing is it's not a real pilot's watch. To me, the ideal pilot's watch would be something like uh, an Explorer 2 with second time to it, or like what I've got is my hemispheres, my Parmigiani hemisphere. That thing is great for travel. It'll deal with any kind of offset like they have in India and some other places. And, you know, but it's not a pilot's watch. It doesn't look like a pilot's watch. But pilot's watches are simply a fun style. And I think that divers' watches are too. And motorsport watches as well. I want to get a Morgan motorsport since I can't get a Morgan most likely. And I did think, you know, that'd be sort of cool looking at my watch and seeing a Morgan wings on it. Tic Tac will help put you to sleep. Yeah. Well, I can't hear worth a bean, so I'll have to get an amplifier for the sound so I can hear it loud enough. Hey, Krasner. Okay. Oh man. All right. Let's see. Um, all right. What are you guys doing for any watch stuff that you can do for Mother's Day? Did anybody get their wife or their mother a watch for Mother's Day? I prefer lower power reserve with high quality power delivery over high power reserve with low quality. Yeah, same here, Geezer. I also like the lower frequency as well. I think this is a 2.5 hertz, which is just my ideal. Everything that Roger Smith makes is 2.5 hertz. All of Philippe Dufour's are 2.5 hertz. Uh, Kari Vuitton and his are 2.5 hertz. All of them. Rex Heppy's stuff is 2.5 hertz. All of these guys that are really the best have the 2.5 hertz, 18,000 VPH. Langenheimer 2.5 hertz, and people are going, "Oh no, they want to get these fast ones." Okay, you know, uh, um, turning to buy a watch for me for Mother's Day, looking at a Patek 5296. Still not going down. Patek 5296. Tim, what does that look like? Is 52, I think, sounds like one of the newer ones, last within the last 20 years or so. My son's a pilot. Their flight group buys some watches. There's some kind of G-Shock or similar. Definitely no bling. Yeah. There was trying to think what it was a really interesting. This one pilot was telling me about his watch, his commercial pilot, and I mean, when I used to fly, I think I used whatever was there. Um, I do remember we had, if you're flying instrument, you had to have a watch because your takeoff time would be on Zulu time, so you definitely needed a GMT watch of some sort. Sector dial, okay, old one. Got whole facto. Okay, hi Kim, how you doing? Um, oh hey, they're really well below retail, I suppose. Oh, are they? At 50, let's see. FPJ prices haven't moved at all. If anything, they've inched up. Yeah, they have. Um, they're even their entry level, the only good buy, and it is a really tempting, very good buy of FP Journe is Elegante. That's the quartz watch, and there are two kinds. There's the 48 millimeter for men, and then there's the original one, usually with diamonds around the bezel for women. And that's an awfully tempting one. I always think, boy, that would be cool. I have one for my wife, and uh, she, she's got that Dunhill that she likes. There's the Jaja Lacoutre, and for travel, there's the Louis Vuitton with that colorful travel thing. They had, I forgot what the name of it was, but she's got a pretty good collection. Um, I want a resonance. Yeah, those things. I tell you, a resonance is something magic about them. Geezer, they really are. You see that thing? I mean, like they'll wind it up, and the next day the seconds are still right on the same thing. Same with all the hands and everything else. And it's really fun to set. Now the new ones, I don't know, $135,000 or something like that. That's way over my. That's when I start going down to see if I can find a Wraith to buy, either a Wraith or a Morgan at those kinds of prices. Watchbox is buying them all. There's a good reason for it too. Watchbox, there was I don't know what it was. There was a watch I wish I had bought. It was really nice. But Watchbox bought it. I think they got it from Touch of Modern, and the thing was really low. And it was I can't remember what it was, but it was something I thought, gee whiz, maybe I ought to get that. And nah, I don't want to get it. Gets on Watchbox, and whoops, up the price went. It wasn't an FP Journe, it was something else. What? Wouldn't mind any. Well, listen, guys. Let's see. What's up, Fahrenheit? You still here? Well, I just watched James' collection. Thumbs up for the collection and the presentation. Thanks, Fahrenheit. Thank you very much. Well, listen, guys. I haven't even had breakfast yet, and Mother's Day and everything else. So let's all be nice to whatever mom we're dealing with, and everyone take care. Bye for now.